This is Sharp Shot 21. And we are back doing another first ride. Second one on the channel. This bike is my brother's. New to him. Hopefully the video for that's up, or it will be up shortly. New to him, Yamaha FZ6R. This one's a 2008, if memory serves. He bought it used at Ronnie's Cycles over in Bennington, same place I bought my Ninja 650. I'll just do a quick walk around here. 600cc, inline 4, fairly standard. It has quite a big pillion seat. Driver's seat's fairly nice actually. We'll do a quick tail compartment shot. You know I like doing those. Not the largest tail compartment in the world, but it's not undersized. I mean, there's plenty of room underneath. He's got a first aid kit, battery tenders wired in, side stand puck, registration and insurance, toolkit, the usual. I almost bought one of these bikes, but decided to go with the Ninja instead. Fairly large fuel tank. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I do like the rear on this one. It's very nice how that's set up. You'll notice he has put frame savers from T-Rex Racing on there. He's also got some case savers. Got some more on the other side. I'll show you those as well. See, another frame saver, another case saver. Trying to think what else. Oh, we'll put some spool sliders on as well. It's going to need new tires here at some point, but that's not going to affect us for today. Let me get this thing fired up for you, give you a listen. You can hear fairly quiet when it's down low, but a little poppy if you give it some revs, but nothing huge. It does feel like a fairly heavy bike, but we'll see how it goes on the ride. Oh yeah, pavement is soft today. It's like 100 degrees out today. So, alright. Power delivery seems fairly smooth. Handling's not bad. The bar position's alright. Levers feel like they're in the right spot. Always takes me a little bit to get used to switching between different control groups on various manufacturer bikes. Fairly standard Yamaha controls though. Yes. And he did forget to plug the blinkers back in. I think I just have rear blinkers today. So we'll try not to get arrested or pulled over for that. You've got the old style kill switch, engine start switch on the right hand controls along with your usual throttle brake. Left hand controls, standard clutch, high low, turn signal, horn. Does not have a passing in switch, so you do have to keep that in mind. Shifts fairly firmly, which is just fine by me. .45, third gear, 6,000. Actually, second gear, excuse me. It's not bad. Fairly stable. Does not want to lean over terribly easily like my bike. Ghost. You just barely breeze on her and she leans right over. But maneuverable enough. And enough weight on her to keep her upright in the wind and not make you fight it. The brake lever I do see now is adjustable. The clutch lever is not. Fairly comfortable leaning over. But all in all, so far she's not bad. I'm having to keep in mind that this is a used bike with almost 6,000 miles on it and some worn tires. It's also not my bike, so I'm riding it a little more conservatively than I normally would. But we're going to take this road, get out to the main road here and open her up. I might do one vlog on her after this. She's super stable. Like, my bike is stable. The Ninja 650 is a stable bike, but this thing just, it feels really planted. It's probably because of the weight. Doesn't make it unmaneuverable, but you certainly have to work a little bit harder to get it to do what you want. At least in terms of leaning over. Not that that's a huge problem. There is something to be said for it being planted. Power delivery is very smooth. Well, you don't need much twisting of the throttle to get it to open up. And we're keeping her in the middle of the RPM band for right now. But I have a sneaking suspicion once you get up near the top end, she screams. There's a little bit of a weird whistling coming from the bike, but I think that's due to the air intake. It's kind of to be expected, given that there is an air scoop in the front here. So, I mean, she purrs right along. Yeah, so that was all in third. Make sure no one's coming here. Like you see, you just roll her on just the slightest bit and she takes off like a scalded cat on a hot tin roof. So I should get plenty of power. I don't know the exact horsepower numbers. I'll try to annotate those in the video. But let's get around this corner here and crank her open. Holy cow, does she just keep pulling! My God, and that was in third. Put her up in fourth and tame her down a little bit. Once we get through the minefield here, I'll bump her up to fifth and sixth, and we'll just crank her open when we get a straightaway coming up. But holy... Now, I haven't ridden too many bikes, I'll admit. CBR 250, FZ6R, Ninja 650, little test drive on a CBR 650, and a Yamaha R3. And, oh yeah, CBR 500. All very nice bikes, but jeez, do they not lay on the power like this thing does? That CBR 650 might give this a run for its money, but it'd be a close showing. The CBR does have another 50 cc's on it, and all other things being equal, displacement wins. But I think it's a little bit heavier. I know my brother was originally going to go for one of those, but he couldn't actually find one. But I think this one's probably a bit more fun. 4, 5. Those have a fairly wide rear tire, which is also probably why it doesn't like to lean over as much as, say, my 650 does. I think this one has a 180 profile rear, and the 650 has a 160 profile rear, or 140 profile. So that extra 20 to 40 millimeters adds a boatload of stability because it flattens the curve out. Alright, now we're through the minefield here. One last gear, yep, that was it. That is one thing I would think I'd need to add to this bike. Oh yeah, plenty of power, still in sixth. One thing I'd need to add to this bike would be a gear indicator. It would live probably right in here. It's a perfect little flat spot for it. And as I've mentioned about Ghost, that's one of the reasons I chose her. There's no sense these days, granted this bike's from 2009, I'll give it the exception, but on a modern bike there is absolutely no good reason for it to be lacking a gear indicator. Absolutely no good reason. It should have one. Especially with a 6-speed, especially a race bike, that should have a gear indicator. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. This one not having one is not the end of the world. There are enough aftermarket ones at this point that you could probably put one in it and it would be just fine. I do like the digital speedo and the analog pack. I think that's a wonderful touch. Same as on Ghost. One of the reasons I picked Ghost over the Z650 was I like the display better. My eyes pick up on things on these displays a little bit better, especially having them broken out into two separate spots. These people following distance. But, I mean, all in all, it's a fairly nice bike. I'd probably put some different grips on it. Definitely put some adjustable bars, probably a shorty on the clutch, a full length on the exhaust. And I'd probably leave it alone after that. Maybe an LED headlamp. But I like her. That's my thoughts on this bike. It's got a fuel gauge, a clock, an engine temp. There's probably a couple other options for that display. But I really like this little bike. And if you guys are thinking about getting one, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for a first bike. A second bike, all day long. You could, if you're confident on a 250 or 300 class bike, you've got your throttle control down, you've got your braking down, you could handle this guy easy. Especially because you can play around in the RPM range. You've got enough gears and it has enough grunt that you don't need to play around up in 5 and 6 or 4, 5 and 6 if you're not comfortable with her. I think I want to go that way. Actually, I'll just go straight because they can't see what I'm doing. Because I don't have any front blinkers. That is one thing, guys. If you're doing maintenance on your bikes and you got to take the fenders off, be aware about all your electrical connections. Make sure you do them properly and they get put back together right. That way you have blinkers, turn signals, headlights, taillights, the whole nine. Because right now I'm not even sure if my rears are working. But it is smooth, it is fairly quiet. I do like the underslung, even though it gives you a little bit of a hot foot. But you're going to have that with a lot of underslungs. And this engine does run a little warm. We're already up to like 205 here. Skip a couple of gears. And again, it's hot as all get out today. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. This is my first ride review of a Yamaha FZ6R 2008 model, I believe. In short, it's a fun little bike. You definitely got nothing to worry about if you're thinking about buying one and wondering if it's got enough grunt for you. It certainly has that. It has way enough grunt and way enough torque. So, feel free to pick one up. I know they're still making them. Almost bought a new one last year. As always, keep the riverside down and ride safe. Sharps out.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. New videos will be aired every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. New streams at 9 p.m.